Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and recently I have been playing a lot of hardcore mode in Battlefield 4 because I'm finding out that there are some aspects of this mode that I actually enjoy and I think do better than normal Battlefield servers. There are some things that, of course, that I despise. Sniper rifles and DMRs are the bane of my existence, and if I jump into a round where everyone's sniping, I'm gonna promptly leave it. But other than those small gripes that sometimes pop up, it's just a lot of fun. And so I think the biggest thing that I'm loving about these servers is the fact that your role and teamwork just means a hell of a lot more compared to normal servers. As you guys know, in hardcore, there isn't health regen, and so if an enemy puts a couple of rounds into you, if you're not playing as the assault class and you don't have that nifty med bag, well, you need to rely on your teammates. There needs to be some teamwork interaction, because if you want to go the lone wolf mentality, you want to go out on your own and just go on kill streaks and completely disregard your teammates and your allies, if you're not playing as the assault class and you got into a firefight with someone a couple of minutes later and they got a couple of rounds into you, you're gonna be vulnerable, and anyone you come across next basically just needs to sneeze in your general direction and you're gonna be back at the spawn screen. And so it essentially forces you to have some more interaction between your teammates and your squad mates, and who would have thought some teamwork needs to be involved if you want to be successful. This extends to every single one of the classes in the game. Ammo becomes more valuable because every time you reload, all of the rounds left in your magazine disappear. They go into the void, into the ether, and are gone forever. And so having a dedicated support player laying down ammo bags is incredibly important. But probably the best example of this is the recon and their spawn beacon. The spawn beacon already is one of the best gadgets in the game, especially if you're playing on a game mode like Rush. But because you can only spawn in on your squad leader, having down a spawn beacon literally anywhere on the map, it doesn't matter if you're playing Conquest, Domination, or Rush, it's just a massive benefit for your team. You can use it to flank around, hit the enemy from a different angle. It'll keep the front line going so that you don't have to rely just solely on your squad leader to be smart and stay alive at all times. It really just is a huge advantage for your team. And I've actually noticed that if my allies are using this gadget effectively and the enemy team has opted not to use it at all and gone down the more conventional route, which is using the assault class and the support trains, I'm finding that my team is more likely to win simply because of that one gadget. Like, it's crazy. And so this right here, this is the biggest reason why I've been gravitating towards hardcore mode recently, because it's because teamwork is essential if you want to be successful. If you want to go the lone wolf, you can do so if you're playing as the assault class, but it's not going to last very long because you need those rounds from a support class. If you're running around as the support class, sure, you might have a lot of rounds at your disposal, but if anyone sneezes in your general direction and gets a couple of rounds into you, well, you might have killed that one guy, but the next guy that rounds the corner is going to be able to mop the floor with your body. And so because of this dynamic and just the way that the mechanics work in hardcore mode, it just forces you to work with your teammates, and I love that about it in general. Like, I'm a very team-oriented guy. Like, sure, every so often I will go off on my own, I'll just kind of do my own thing, but to have that essential piece of a mode is very, very refreshing. And that is the reason why I've been gravitating towards this more and more. Another thing that I think hardcore does better than normal servers is the kill cam. I'm not much of a fan of the way that DICE handle the kill cam in Battlefield. It's okay, you know, it gets the job done, but I would much rather it be something like that they had back in Battlefield 3. If you're not aware, the reason why kill cams are really in any first-person shooter is because they don't want to incentivize camping. It's kind of a way to disincentivize that playstyle, because while sure, you may be in the corner for a couple of minutes and you might have been able to get a couple of kills, if you continue to sit there, the guy that you just killed is going to come back, he's going to know exactly where you are, he realizes you've been camping there all game long, and he's going to promptly slap you in the face with a bunch of bullets. Like, that's the reason why the kill cam is in the game. But because of the way that DICE went about the kill cam in Battlefield 4, as long as you're over voice comms with some of your friends, you can essentially give them wall hacks. Like, as you die, he's like, oh, yep, he's in that building, he's not looking at you right now, he's still not looking at you, you should probably charge him and take him out. Gives a free kill to your buddy, while normally he wouldn't have known exactly where he was. You wouldn't know his exact position, but just because of the way that they've implemented it, it's just a little bit too ridiculous. I recently have gone back and played a lot of Battlefield 3, and I would say that that system handled it really well. Like, as you died, it didn't immediately pan out and show you where your killer was. It took like a brief couple of seconds, and then it just showed you kind of the frontal view of your enemy. And so you could then see like, oh, it was a recon on some sort of rock off off in the distance. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but I get his general location and I have a general idea of where he's camping out. Then at that point, still gives you basically the same type of information, but it's not like blatantly overpowered if you are over voice comms. Maybe I'm just a little nitpicky, maybe this is just a little bit too naive on my part, but this is one of the reasons why I've also been enjoying hardcore compared to the normal servers. Another aspect that I've been really appreciating, and I wouldn't necessarily say that this is inherently better than normal servers because it just really comes down to personal preference, is the faster time to kill. When you're using an assault rifle, for example, I got a lot of use out of the L85A2 over the last couple of days. It's one of my favorite rifles in the game. When you're using one of these weapons and you're able to kill upwards of 3, 4, or even 5 people with one magazine without having to reload or switching over your pistol, it's exhilarating. Having that pinpoint-like accuracy, not wasting a single round, and then bouncing between all of your enemy targets that are all in front of you, and then dropping them all with just in a couple of seconds, it's one of the coolest things that you can do in Battlefield, and you don't really get that on normal servers. And while it doesn't happen very often, it's more of a once in the blue moon type of deal, if you're having a good round, killing 3 or 4 people with one magazine with your assault rifle, is doable, and it happens pretty frequently, and I love that about hardcore mode. It does take more of a twitchy type of skill. You don't really need to rely on consistent accuracy like you do on normal, and maybe that's just why I'm enjoying hardcore recently. Maybe my consistent accuracy is going down the tube, and maybe that's why I'm struggling, but just having those moments really does make me enjoy the mode more and more. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is that during my playtime, I stumbled across a capture the flag server. I wish more servers ran this mode because while I understand it does have its issues, a lot of the times, especially if you're playing on a 64-man server, it just evolves into everyone camping around their flag and it's impossible to get onto the objective and everyone just ends the round at 0-0. It's stupid, I realize that. But on 32 versus 32, maybe it was just because I was playing on the Dragon's Teeth DLC and on Pearl Market, it was incredible. Both teams were playing the objective really well. I had some awesome escorts where I was following my buddy around and I was able to mow everyone that was trying to go in and take him out. It was awesome. Like, I wish more servers ran capture the flag because it's fun. Like, it is a really good game mode, and while I think that DICE probably could have done a better job at balancing it out on some of the servers, at least on Pearl Market, maybe it was just that map in general, but I had a blast. But yeah, guys, that's all I really wanted to discuss in today's video. I just wanted to share why I think hardcore does things a little bit better than normal, mainly just coming down to teamwork and relying more on your buddies to get the job done. I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Have you really enjoyed hardcore? Is it one of your favorite types of mode in Battlefield? Will you never stray away from it? Let me know down below. But until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.